Top 10 Arab Wedding Traditions. Welcome to All Things Arab. Arab weddings are extravagant affairs rooted in custom and history. While particular traditions differ from country to country throughout the Levant, from Lebanon to Palestine to Morocco, some cultural and religious rites are similar. Our forefathers devised unique wedding traditions in order to attract good fortune and a happy, stress-free marriage. Here are some of the wedding traditions that Arabs have developed, ranging from rites to avoid hasad to those to attract suitors. Just sit back and relax to learn about the beauty and history behind every tradition. Wedding traditions and rituals in the Middle East are distinctive and vibrant. These wedding customs have a fascinating history. Wedding traditions vary from country to country in the Arab world, and each has its own beauty. If we go back 80 years or more, Arab wedding customs have evolved dramatically. Originally, Arab weddings were only meant to include two traditions, nikah and walima, which are also the sole Islamic marriage criteria. The earliest Arabic wedding customs are believed to be Bedouin wedding traditions. The modern Arab wedding incorporates elements of Bedouin weddings as well as Western influences. The wedding in the Middle East begins with the gathering of the couple's relatives and concludes with BARMET AL-AROOS, a goodbye to the married couple. Traditional Arab weddings require the agreement of both the bride and groom. The groom is welcomed inside the bride's home, and the bride's parents are there throughout the encounter. Number 1. Stick Dance. Egypt and others. Almost every country has its own national dance and clothing, which has been handed down through the centuries and encapsulates the spirit of what makes each culture distinct. Most nations have a range of folkloric dances that reflect the subtle distinctions between the country's diverse regions. Egypt's traditional folkloric dance and clothing, on the other hand, are both interesting and entertaining, and wonderfully capture the country's rich culture. Folklore stick dancing is still practiced, performed, and commemorated at weddings and other events on a lesser scale. Despite the fact that it's not generally known or alive today, belly dancing also takes the lead as a nationally recognized dance. Egyptian folkloric dancing is derived from its ancient roots. So far, the only thing we know about ancient Egyptian dancing, however, is that women and men were not portrayed dancing together, but rather each gender would dance individually. Women are often shown dancing alone in couples or in a group, and they seem to have worn specialized dance attire. Number 2. ARDAH, GCC countries. Have you ever been interested about the origins of sword dancing? Welcome to ARDAH, a centuries-old ritual. ARDAH is an Arabian group dance that is both traditional and folkloric. It's even recognized as Saudi Arabia's national dance. It's a really remarkable performance that needs to be recognized. ARDAH has a long and illustrious history. Due to its roots, it's traditionally done exclusively by males. It all started with the Central Najd region's male tribes. In honor of its origins and reverence for the tribes, ARDAH is also known as Al-ARDAH al-Najdiyah. The Bedouins are one of the tribes who are engaged. Number 3. ABAYAS and DISHDASHA. Many Arab countries. Dress to impress if you're invited to an Arab wedding. Arab weddings are black tie affairs, especially in the West. Take into account, however, how pious the couple's family are. Men wear long white robes called DISHDASHA, while women wear long robes of any color called abayas with headscarves or hijabs at more conservative events. Guests are not required to dress in these clothes. Number 4. MAHR. Many Arab countries. The mahr is the dowry or gift that a man must make to his wife. During the Katib al-Kitab, the mahr is presented. It represents a woman's affection, respect, and politeness. It's something priceless she can keep in the case of a divorce. Many Arab marriage contracts include a mahr. The mahr may be divided into two halves. The muqaddam or prompt mahr is the first thing the woman must receive at or shortly after the marriage ceremony. The muakkar or second half of the mahr is a delayed and promised payment, due to any agreed-upon date after the marriage is consummated. Frequently, the sum delayed is more than the amount paid at the time of marriage. The delayed sum is intended to give the woman a source of support and is linked to the husband's death or divorce, although this is a more conventional rather than an Islamic perspective on the issue. The mu'akkar is just as significant as the first dower payment, since it's an obligation that the husband must perform and is considered a debt if it's not paid to the wife within the agreed-upon period. Number 5. ZAFFA or ZAFFE, Lebanon. The wedding couple's spectacular entry into their celebration is called the ZAFFE. It's customary for the bride's father to accompany his daughter to her husband. A group of drummers performs traditional, cheerful Arabic music after that. Rings are switched from the right to the left hand during the ZAFFE. The female guests may be heard performing a high-pitched ululation with their tongues, known as the zagruta, or a celebration cheer. Number 6. DABKE, Lebanon. There aren't many guests sitting down at most Arab weddings. Professional dancers execute a popular traditional dance called DABKE, which is subsequently followed by the wedding guests. Guests will form a circle and dance shoulder to shoulder. Guests at an Egyptian wedding will most likely witness belly dancers instead. While there are many distinct kinds of DABKE dances, they all follow the same basic format. Dancers form a line and go around the dance floor, performing certain steps, kicking their legs into the air, and stomping their feet. Keep an eye out for the person leading if you ever see a DABKE. They typically hop about a lot more and perform all kinds of twists and turns. Number 7. Cake cutting, many Arab countries. The cutting of the cake is a wedding custom that can be found in various cultures, but Arabs take it to the next level. With a huge sword handed down from the groom's family on his wedding day, Arab couples cut their multi-tiered wedding cake. Sparklers may even erupt through the cake during more elaborate parties. Number 8. BARMET AL-AROOS, many Arab countries. This custom bid the newlywed couple goodbye before they leave in a dazzling and lavishly adorned car from their wedding site. Friends and relatives of the newlyweds form a procession of their own vehicles to accompany them back to their house or hotel, blasting loud music and honking the whole way to proclaim to the world that the couple in front of them just got married. Number 9. Celebratory gunfire, Jordan and others. The act of firing a firearm into the air in celebration is known as celebratory gunfire. Although it's prohibited, it's culturally acceptable in the Balkans, Russia, the Middle East, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Guatemala, Ethiopia, and the United States. New Year's Day and religious festivals are popular times for celebratory shooting. It occurs during weddings, after the birth of a child, religious festivals and holidays, New Year's Eve, and after sports event wins, among other events and occasions. Accidental death and damage from the stray shots may occur as a consequence of this activity. Property destruction is another consequence of celebratory shooting. Broken windows and damaged roofs are often seen after such gatherings. While celebratory gunfire was popular in the past, authorities outlawed it during the Cold War, and it became almost non-existent. It was resurrected in the 1990s, and the development of social instability and ethnic strife intensified it. Rather than being a consequence of tradition, today's usage of celebratory gunfire is more likely to be linked to the region's extensive availability of firearms. Number 10. Henna Night, many Arab countries. In the Middle East and Arab nations, henna is the most popular bridal tradition. A female friend of the bride performs Arabic songs and applies henna to the bride's hands and feet. Henna Night is similar to a female bachelorette celebration. The bride's friends dance and sing songs about the bride's bright future. Guests are given sharbat or sweet beverages before being served meals. The highlight of the occasion is henna or mendi. Mendi is applied to the bride's hands and feet by a close friend or a woman. Mendi is a skin adornment that is used to symbolize the newlywed bride. Henna is applied to the hands, palms, and feet because the color of henna appears deeper in these areas due to the greater concentration of keratin. The guys have their own celebration, and we can hear them dancing to traditional music. The groom's family and friends will also hold a party, where they will dance to traditional Palestinian music. In certain village traditions, a close family member or friend shaves the groom's face in preparation for his wedding. The custom of giving the bride her gold is still practiced. The groom will approach the bride, have their henna done together, and then give the bride her MAHR. As a result, the wedding will consist only of dancing and celebration. The clothing worn by the Palestinian ladies and the groom is a significant component of the henna night, in both traditional and non-traditional henna celebrations. The ladies wear traditional Palestinian Ethiopian robes, which are typically hand-embroidered. The bride's thobe would be ornately embroidered and lavish. The groom will wear a thobe and ARDAH, as is customary for Arab males. Do you know anything about Arab wedding traditions that you want to share aside from those? Do you think these Arab wedding traditions are different from other types of wedding traditions? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Before leaving, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button for notifications of our future content. With that being said, see you in the next one.
Thanks for watching the video. Comment down below which part you like the most, or click the thumbs up button if you like the video.